Hi, this is Steve at FB Fog again. We're going to talk now about some of the parts that are involved in the pieces that we make for you. This is just one of our standard clock motors. There's really nothing to it. Two parts, the pendulum and the motor itself, and we just use AA batteries. The positive goes down when you slide these in. It's very simple. Underneath these is where this is being installed, and you can see that it's the exact same piece. And the battery, just put your finger on there and pop it out, just using your fingernail. Same thing goes when you're replacing it. If for some reason, can you see that okay?
Yeah.
If for some reason the actual pieces are not moving the way they should, it's very likely that you may have a bad battery over time. Obviously batteries can wear down. So try to put a new battery in. Start from there before you start figuring out maybe some other troubleshooting that could be done. But a lot of times, if there's something going wrong, it's a battery. It just needs to be replaced. So of these parts of the actual pendulum, what's really necessary is that there's a space between the actual pendulum and the receiving motor. Okay? There's magnets in there that are pushing and pulling each other. If there's not enough space in there, if it's too tight, it does not move. If it's too far apart, it does not move. So you got to have it just right. And usually that takes about 2 millimeters or so in space. Maybe it's stacked, maybe it's like a penny space between those. Once you've got that space going, you'll see that things start to swing pretty easily. The pendulum itself comes right off. It just pulls off like that. If for whatever reason that might have popped off, it dropped off the floor or off the wall, just simply pushing that back into place, that's all that needs to be done. So let's talk about the next things here. The space of the hands on a piece. Sometimes over years, for example, the friction of so much turning around can cause the hands to move up on each other, where the hour hand and the minute hand actually are pushing against each other. And what happens is it can sometimes get loose on you. It can dangle, and it isn't doing what it should be doing. So take your thumbnails, push down on the hour hand only, and push it back on that stem. That's all it's going to take for a simple adjustment. You're pushing down on that to get that space again between. And that's partly why, when it was initially sent to you, there is that little space in there to kind of make sure that those two pieces aren't coming together. So that's a very simple fix. You'll see that a lot, just over 10 years of it hanging away and wagging on your wall. Sometimes those hands can swing up. The other thing that you'll see is the actual sweep hand. It just pops right off. If for whatever reason your child or something grabs it and bends it, or it falls off the wall, or someone kicks it and these are broke, just call me. We'll send you a new one. These are not a big deal. But they just pop back on. Just apply some good pressure and it'll start to do its thing again. You'll also notice that these hands are intentionally bent. And that's because we got to get around this nose. That's not true on all the breeds, but on plenty of them that we make, if they have a clock function in them, they're done like that so they can get around. And if for some reason they get out of bend or something, just move them again. You're not going to really hurt it. If you bend it over and over and over again, it'll snap. But just do your best to try to get them back in line again so that it does what it should do. Really no big deal. Okay, we're going to talk about the next thing on the next video.